Hello everybody, thank you for joining me here at my YouTube channel. I am Darlene D, and the first thing that I'm going to share is my reason why I exercise. And I hope that you will be motivated to find your why as to why you want to lose weight, or why you want to exercise, or why it would be good for you to exercise. So the reason why I exercise is because when I was a child, my mother, who was a little bit shorter than I am, and I am about 5 feet 3.5 inches tall, she weighed more than 250 pounds, and she struggled for many years trying to get the weight off. She would be on an exercise program, she would lose the weight, then she would gain it again. She would lose it and gain it again. So she struggled quite a few years trying to get the weight off. So my thought was, as I saw her struggling, I didn't want to get overweight. So that's the reason why I exercise. When we were children, we played in the streets, we ran up and down the streets, we did a lot of fun things with the neighborhood people. There were 9 children in my family, so we had a lot of people to play with. We had games that we played, so they kept us busy. They kept us in a mode of exercise. We weren't really thinking about exercise, but we were doing something good for our bodies. As I got older, I knew that I needed to find something to keep my body in shape. So I did a lot of roller skating, which I really love to roller skate, and I also did some swimming. In the wintertime, there were centers that were open that had swimming pools. So I would go to the swimming pool and get my swimming in. And swimming is a very good exercise because you exercise most of your body. So if you like to swim, do that. Right now, it might be a little difficult to find a pool to go to, but that's something to think about. So when I left Indianapolis, I went down to the Houston, Texas area, and I took up bodybuilding. So bodybuilding was my form of exercise. While I was there, I also did some swimming, went to the ocean, we swam sometimes, me and my daughter and others who wanted to go. So swimming was another part of my exercise program. And just before I left Houston, Texas, my company participated with other companies in the city in something called the Superstars competition. And in this Superstars competition, one of the events was to run a 5K. So I participated in the 5K. That's where I started my running, getting my running exercise in. I had never done a 5K before, but since that was part of the program or the competition, I joined in and did that. I think I did that 2 years before I left the city. So when I left Houston, Texas, I went to the Atlanta, Georgia area. And that's where I met and joined the South DeKalb Striders Running Club. This running club was very competitive. They did 5Ks and 10Ks around the city. The very first time I went to run with them, they were running, I think, the long distance for that weekend, and it was 10 or 12 miles. I had never run more than 3.1 miles, which is the 5K that I participated in Texas. But I ran, I stayed with the group, with somebody in the group. Someone stayed with me so that I would not run by myself. I do remember that. So the jogging was very important to me. I had the camaraderie there with the South DeKalb Striders. We did the competing around the city. So that was a motivating factor for me. That was a reason why I kept running, because I love to compete and I enjoyed going to the different races around the city. So after I left the Atlanta, Georgia area, I went to Jacksonville, Florida. In Jacksonville, Florida, I did some jogging. I still jogged, and I also went to the beaches to swim. Swimming was something that I enjoyed doing. I still enjoy it. Whenever I can, I do that. And then running in Jacksonville was a little bit easier than running in the Atlanta area because the land is flat. So after I left Jacksonville, I ended up in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I ran into some hills again. There were hills out there in San Francisco Bay, but I did get out on a regular basis and did my jogging. When I left the San Francisco Bay Area, I ended up in Seattle, Washington. In Seattle, Washington, there are lots of hills, and I got a little slack. I was not exercising as much as I normally would. I ended up went back to Jacksonville, Florida for an event, and a lady told me, one of my friends told me, she said, Darlene, she said, your cheeks are getting fat. I said, oh my God. I said, I need to do something about that. I had really become slack and I was not doing much exercise, so I was gaining some weight. When I returned to Seattle, I got back on my jogging program, and I'm glad that she mentioned that to me. There are people who are watching you. They see that you're struggling with your weight. Some will say something and some won't. And I hope that when they say something that you take it to help you. It's beneficial for you to make a decision to do better for yourself and for your life. And just thinking of when you lose weight, when you are not overweight, your body is feeling better, your body feels better, your mind is better when you're exercising, you sleep better at night. I do. I'm just saying, these are things that I know happens for me. I sleep very well at night. There are not many nights that I don't go right to sleep when I get in the bed, and sometimes I get sleepy before I get in the bed. So the exercise will help your, if you have medications that you're on, it can help you to get off of those medications. High blood pressure, sugar diabetes, insomnia, those things can be helped if you get into an exercise program. So that may be your why. Why do I need to exercise is what you may be asking yourself. And those are questions that each person can answer on their own because everyone is different. So after I left the Seattle area, I did return to the Atlanta, Georgia area and began to jog, kept my jogging program going. But I do remember in 2018, during the winter time, I had slowed down on my jogging. I wasn't exercising as much. So I ended up on vacation with a friend of mine. We were on a ship. And of course, they have these activities on the ship. And I was participating in one, running up and down on top of the ship. We were doing some kind of game. And I got winded. And when I got winded, I said, oh my. I said, I need to get back to my exercise program. So when I got back to the States, I started walking. I walked for an hour and a half for a couple of weeks just to get my body acclimated to jogging again. So after I did that for a couple of weeks, I was able to start jogging and running some more. It didn't take me as long to get that exercise in, but I was so upset with myself. I did that 1.5 hours to walk so that I could get that weight off of me. So what I'm saying is that you have to have a why. You have to have something in your mind to motivate you to get the weight off. My motivation is thinking about my mother and what she went through and not wanting to go through that. So if I keep it off, I don't have to worry about getting it off. And many people may think, well, I don't eat much. Well, I do. I can eat a lot of food. So that's one reason why I exercise. There are times when I may overeat and I say, well, I have to do some extra exercise to get the weight off, to keep it off, to not let it settle on me. So that's what I do for myself. So I'm just saying, each and every one who's listening, think about your why. Why do you need to lose weight? Why is it that you're here listening? Why is it that you want to see your body look better? When you exercise, you will look better. You will feel better. Your mental capacity should get better. I know that I can think better, because of exercise. Your mind is more fresh and more clear. And of course, you can sleep better at night. Some of those medications that you're on, you can possibly get off of those or slow down or take less if you start exercising. In fact, thinking about my mom, one of the things that keeps me motivated is her family members. Several family members died as a result of complications from being overweight. So that's another motivating factor for me. That's a why for me to keep the weight off. I don't want to have some kind of complication, heart attacks, sugar diabetes, things like that, or things that can help you to realize that you need to do something better for yourself. So each and every one, you have a why. Find your why. Find out why you want to get started. One day at a time, one step at a time. And I will be doing, my next video should be a video just to keep you motivated to do 10 minutes a day. Just 10 minutes a day will help you to get started. If you just do 10 minutes a day, every day, you will establish a habit. You will habitually, you will consistently do the exercise. You will get up in the morning and want to do those 10 minutes because you will begin to feel better. You will begin to look better, and you will say, oh, I need to maybe add 10 more minutes, and then 10 more minutes. So eventually you will be doing more than just the 10 minutes, but initially do 10 minutes at a time. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you to find your why and get started right away doing your exercises. Thanks for listening to my video. I hope that you have been encouraged and that you will go and find your why and make some changes in your life.